Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're going to talk about the brand new rectangle stitched framelit dies. Now, we're all familiar with the stitch framelits, which has the circles, the squares and the ovals. And you can see straight away that the stitched rectangles are a very big, large case, which means there's going to be a lot in there. So let's open it and have a look and see what we've got. You can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rectangles here, which go down in little increments. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of this sort of shape, and then you've got a small one down on here. Now I've put this on a magnetic sheet because it's easier for me. And what I thought we would do is to make one of the great things about this is that they are stitched on the inside and the outside. So it means that we can use both areas of this. And I thought it would be quite good to make some frames. So I wanted to see how many frames we can make out of a piece of A4 cardstock. So I'm going to get my trimmer out to start off with. Let's move these to one side for a minute. Okay, so this is a piece of standard, it's thick Whisper White. And I'm going to take the largest size one here. And we're just going to measure it to start off with. So let's see what size this large one is. So the large one measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8. So I'm going to cut this cardstock 1/4 inch wider. So what do we say? 5 1/4. So let's do it at 5 1/2, like this. My blade down. So 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to do it at, we had 3 7/8. So we're going to do it 4 1/8. So let's cut that down to 4 1/8. And I'm going to do that out of both of them, so I can get 4 1/8 on here, which just gives me just a little, tiny weeny little bit over on the side there, literally just like a sliver piece. Okay, so out of those I think we should be able to make quite a few frames. So let's have a go at doing this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just move this extra piece of cardstock out. We might do something with that in a minute. Get the framelits, and I'm going to bring the big shot in. Now I have quite a small space to work in, so let's see what we can do. So I'm going to bring my big shot in and put this underneath like this. So hopefully you can see, yes, you can see most of it. Let me get my cardstock out from underneath, which might help. Okay, so we are going to then take the largest of these frames, and I'm going to put, okay, let me turn that over. I've got just a little bit of a woggle on there. Okay, now, because it is completely rectangular, if I put it in that way, it's going to go clonk, clonk. So if I put it in at a slight angle, this is me just picking up my plate. Okay, so if I put it in at a slight angle, what I'm going to try and do is to line this up so that it is as accurate as I can on here. Let me see and do it this way because of the light. Now we can put a little piece of washi tape on here. I'm not going to on this, but I'm going to put it at that angle like that, so that when it goes in fact, I do need to put a little piece of washi tape on this because otherwise it's not going to stick very well. So let's, or it might slide out of place. So washi tape just on your skin, just de-tack it a little bit. And this is where I use retard washi tape. So let's line this up as best we can on here, and I'm just going to stick that little piece of washi tape just over the top like that, so it's got a little bit more in there. Okay, and then I can put it down. I still don't think it's completely accurate, but it'll do for the example. So we're going to turn it to the side. No, that's not right at all, is it? Hold on, let's get ourselves organized. Okay, so let's line it up as best we can, because it's just a tiny piece at the edge. What I don't want to do is to waste anything, so I'm just going to tuck that in over the edge like that. That's a bit better. I should have had two pieces, but it'll be fine just with the one. Turn it at an angle, get the other plate over the top, put it in, and then we're going to roll it through. Now, because I've got it at an angle, it's not going to make as much of a indentation across. I am going to roll it back only because of ease of my work surface. So that's going to be the first one. So let's have a look at this, and let's take that bit of frame out like this. Let's take that little bit of washi tape off like that carefully, and we now have, take that piece of washi tape off of there, just off of the side of that frame. Okay, so we've now got a large sized frame out of the first piece, which is obviously stitched on the inside, so I'll put that to one side and I'll show you them all at the end. And then we've got this one, which is obviously the inside piece of this. So if we then go into our frames, and we're going to go 2 down, so we're not going to use the next size down, we're going to use the one next to it. So let me pick this up so you can see it before I put it through. Okay, so we have used this one here. We're not going to use this one, which is the next one. We're going to go down to this one. Okay, so let's put this one in, and then that is going to go in here like this. And again, I'm going to line it up and put it in at an angle. And again, this time I'm not going to put the washi tape on because I think I can see it just about well enough. But again, put it in at a slight angle, because then it doesn't put so much pressure on the end and it's far easier to run it through. So let's put this one through. So it's the same piece of cardstock, and we're just going to see how many frames we can get, because what I'm intending to do is to make quite a few frames that I can then use for different projects. So just spending 5 minutes doing it at the beginning, so that gives us a nice frame like that, and then that gives us an inside piece. So let's go back to the frames again. So we've now got 2, and we're going to do, so we're going to put this one back in here like that, and we're going to go down 2 again. So 1, 2, and we're going to go down to this one. So we're just missing one out each time. And then this one we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to put it in on the center like that. It's fairly easy to line up because it's a rectangle. Put it down again, so I've got it at an angle to go through. Put the plate in on top like that, and move those ones out the way. Run this one through. Now I use my Big Shot all the time, and as you can see, my Big Shot is it's about 5 odd years old now, and it's going strong, and I absolutely love it for everything because it cuts perfectly every time. So let's take this one out. So we've got the next frame, and we've got another piece like that, and let's do exactly the same thing again. So going back to them, let's see where we are on here. So we're going to put this one back in on here, and we're going to go down 2 again, so not that one but this one, and that'll give us that size. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So let me take my plate out for a second, put it down the right way up. I think it's very clever that they stitch both sides, because it means that you can use it twice as much and get the same out of your cards, which I think is really good. I've got a little bit of sticky on that one, so just make sure I've got that lined up as best I can. As I say, you can put tape on. I'm just doing this fairly quickly, but eyeballing it's not too bad actually. So let's put that one in on there. Again, I've got it at an angle, so it's not stressing anything. And providing you cut your cardstock first, you can always, even the largest size, you can put it in just slightly at an angle, because it makes it easier to cut. So let's take this one out, and we've then got this size frame. And then we've got, we might be able to do the smallest one. Let me have a look and see what that's going to do. So let's go back to these frames again on this side. So that was this size. We'll put that one back in there. And then we've just got the very smallest one, which I'm going to show on here. That will give a very tiny border if you wanted it to. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave it like that for this one. So let me move these out of the way, or move the big shot out of the way, and we can have a look and see what we've made out of basically 1/4 of a piece of cardstock. So you can multiply this up by 4. So I'm just putting my big shot out of the way, and then I can get back down, and then I can show you what we've got. So from the 1 piece of cardstock we have got, which was this size. So as I say, you could get 4 out of them. So that's what we started with. And we have got, says me trying to get my little fingers underneath. So we've got a large frame. We've got the very outside piece, which again, I just wanted to have the very outside piece to just give an outside piece to a frame. So, and then we've got this one, and then we've got this size, and we've got that size, and we've got that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and an inside piece out of 1 piece of cardstock, which I think is brilliant. And if you then look at it, you can then take that, and you've got a lovely little frame on like this. Put this one on. You can have a frame with a bit of a border like that. You can then have a frame that comes just in on the center, and you can obviously use it portrait like this, or you can use it landscape like that, any color of cardstock. Then we've got this size one with this frame, which again probably be quite nice as a landscape. And then we've got this little tiny piece here, which can go as a border, or can go as a panel, or can do as a sentiment in the center of the card, or whatever you want. So I think that they are really, really good. Really pleased with that. And as I say, those are just 4, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 4, 5 different types of frames, just from, let's take these ones back, just from every other one. So you can get totally different sizes by taking them the other way round. You can get smaller borders by linking one up to the other, and I haven't even looked at these ones yet. So there is so much to do with this. And as I turned around and said, if we look at the sizes of this compared to, let me get the stitch shape framelets out, because as I say, we're all used to those and we all know the sizes. So this is, right, these are the stitch shape framelets, which obviously only do one size. So that's the largest circle in comparison. That's the largest oval in comparison. And that's the largest square in comparison. So you can see that they are a lot. You have a lot more for a start, and also you have this large shape. One of the good things that I thought as well is when you are like me sometimes, I'm not always great at being able to cut out completely accurate little sentiment banners and things like this. If you take sort of this one, for example, that's one of the smallest, you can just stamp and then just cut it out straight away. You have a lovely stitch border and you don't have to worry about trying to very carefully cut out little tiny spaces. So I think that this is going to be used, particularly for me, all of the time. I love the fact that I can do frames now, as well as doing panel pieces, which I've always done with the stitch shaped framelits, which I absolutely love. But I really like the fact that you can do these, which gives you a stitch on the outside and a stitch on the inside. So absolutely brilliant. So just a quick introduction to these. I will be using these a lot over the coming weeks in videos, but I just wanted you to see them in real size before you looked at investing with them. But I really think that they're going to be something that is going to be really useful and something I will certainly use all the time. So thank you so much for watching me, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.